It's that time of year that we start to talk about the Royal Rumble. Except this year's Royal Rumble match is quite different. It is for Roman Reigns' WWE Championship. Now, I know there's some people that have been getting on the history that this isn't the first time the title was on the line. Yes, it is. This is the first time that a sitting champion's title is on the line inside a Royal Rumble match. 1992, they were fighting for the vacant WWF Championship. It was not somebody's title, and Ric Flair ended up winning. So when it comes to the Royal Rumble match for Roman Reigns' title, I've seen a lot of varying degrees of speculation on what could not happen, but the one thing that I think this is kind of big for me. And I don't know if you guys are going to agree or not because, it kind of sucks, especially with how many talented people are on the roster, is last night when they were doing the opening of Monday Night Raw and all those superstars were on the stage and Vince McMahon was going through them one by one, like Dolph Ziggler or The New Day. You're looking at those superstars, and it hit me last night. And, we've said it forever that the WWE doesn't have top stars and things like that. And it really kind of hit me in person last night when I saw it on the stage. Seeing the list of superstars that they have up there, which there's a lot of great superstars in their own right who are awesome, like The New Day, like Dean Ambrose, like Dolph Ziggler. A lot of guys on that stage have huge potential, but for the most part, that whole stage was filled with mid-carders. There really was not one main event talent on that stage. And I know some people are going to criticize me for that. I mean main event talent in the eyes of WWE, somebody that could carry the company, and there was not one person up there. You've had Sheamus, who's tried. You've had, Alberto Del Rio, who's been a big champion. But for the most part, that stage was pretty desolate. So when it comes to the Royal Rumble match this year, a lot of people are expecting some big surprises or maybe some debuts. And that's kind of what I wanted to get into and talk about here because it is a very, very interesting situation that we're in. When you look at the roster, and I've noticed it, everybody kind of notices the past couple years. The past couple years, Royal Rumble matches really have been lacking. One, because the guy that we wanted to win didn't win. That was Batista. Well, the year we wanted Roman to win. The year Roman won, we didn't want Roman to win, and we hated him for it. And the fact that Daniel Bryan wasn't in the Royal Rumble 2 years ago. And the Royal Rumble has kind of become an annual letdown for us. Going into it this year, I feel quite a bit different because of the fact of all these injuries, because of Seth Rollins, because of John Cena, because of Randy Orton. Because of all these injuries, I still think the Royal Rumble has a huge shot of being unpredictable. There's a lot of different routes they could go. They could have Roman Reigns overcome everybody, enter number 1 or 2, be in the Royal Rumble more than an hour, win the match, boom. They could have Dean Ambrose take out his brother Roman Reigns and win the title, and they could fight for the title. You could have Roman Reigns completely be out of the picture with, say, Dean Ambrose throwing him over the top rope, and then Dean and Roman fight for the IC title, and Brock or Rock or Triple H or Nakamura or Styles or whoever wins the Royal Rumble could go on to be a main eventer and headline WrestleMania. I was very intrigued by Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman last night saying, why are we entering the Royal Rumble? The winner should face me. That is a headline. And part of me thought, that's kind of true. Now that the Royal Rumble is no longer to see who faces at Mania, it seems like we're not going to take the risk of something happening. We're just going to do it like this. And I think that's kind of safe booking. But in terms of WWE and how many injuries they've had, I can't fault them. If they hadn't planned out, if they planned out Cena's WrestleMania opponent already, and they had already built towards it, now that Cena's shoulder injury happened, WWE would be in a predicament. But because they really hadn't planned that far ahead, they can be a little bit more unpredictable. Now, Kalisto won the title last night, and, whether or not he's going to be in the Royal Rumble, he's not going to be in the Rumble, I'm pretty sure, because he's going to defend it against Del Rio or somebody else, it puts him in a situation that you have a lot of guys who aren't going to win, but could still make the Royal Rumble pretty awesome. Now, the New Day, what's going to happen with Kofi? Kofi's wild spots happened when he was a face. Well, now he's in the New Day. He's a heel Is he going to do that same stuff when he jumps outside of the ring? That's something that I don't think I've heard anybody talk about. What's Kofi going to do, man? He's heel now. Are we going to see a sick Kofi spot? Are the New Day going to catch him and throw him back in? What's going to happen? I think there definitely still is a lot of possibilities of the Royal Rumble because of the fact that we're relying on somebody from the past coming in or being a surprise entrant. I think we're screwing ourselves a little bit. Not we. The WWE is, in the terms of the guys that were on the stage last night just weren't that interesting. Now, there are a lot of guys that are up there that if it was done properly, they could carry the company. They could be the Seth Rollins or the Roman Reigns, the champion that's carrying the company. But the sad fact is, we're not at that level. Now, when you look at the guys in the ring that started off this Royal Rumble, who I kind of had with Dean Ambrose, Roman, Rock, Brock, things like that, you really you have to rely on those bigger names. Now, if one of those part-timers gets hurt, oh boy. Now, the big speculation is that Rock will not wrestle. He'll just be in attendance because of his movies. I do not know if that's true or not true. I really don't care. I think there would be a lot of draw for Triple H or The Rock or, Rock versus Brock. I would love to see a match like that. I definitely think there's a possibility for Rock and Brock and all these part-timers to fit in The Undertaker. I've seen some people talk about Undertaker versus Luke Harper as the Wyatt family break away from Bray Wyatt. That's an option. A lot of different things can happen in this Rumble. And the fact that the title's up for grabs, like I said, this could all be some sort of huge red herring that everybody stacks the deck against Roman. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter anyway because this is our guy. For all we know, the Baylor Club could debut and just take the title, and Triple H could make him his lapdog, and that's his thing. They could just crap out at Fastlane, the Baylor Club versus the League of Nations, and then it could be done. There's a lot of different things that can happen in this Royal Rumble that really kind of excite me and, make me pretty happy for it because really most of the guys that are on this stage are not going to win. Are they going to provide some entertaining spots? Yes. Are like that right there, Brock Lesnar eliminated Roman Reigns. That is definitely an option. Maybe they do the rematch, but they're not even involved in the title picture and somebody else takes the title. Who knows? And like I said, I'm probably going to fantasy book Mania in a little bit. I'm probably going to come up with my fantasy card who I'd want to see and just kind of ration out why and kind of, not really script it or plan it, but just kind of be like, man, if I was a fan, this is what I'd love to see. I'm not going to rely on that because if it doesn't happen, then I'm just getting myself upset when I'm the one that created it in the first place. I think there would be a lot of intrigue into having Dean Ambrose turn on Roman Reigns inside of the Royal Rumble. I think a great way to book this would have Dean Ambrose made a deal with the devil. Maybe Dean and Roman can have a little bit of tension leading up until next week, until the Royal Rumble on the 24th, where backstage Triple H and Vince promised him, hey, if you eliminate Roman Reigns, whoever's the champion, I will give them to you at Fastlane. And boom, that's how we can do it. Dean faces that guy at Fastlane, maybe a triple threat, maybe something like that. Maybe something happens, and then it's Dean versus Roman, brother versus brother at Mania. Definitely an option. You could have Roman win the title, and then somebody else could come out and challenge him afterwards. You could have a debut. I think there's a lot of things that when I see people tweeting out, the Royal Rumble is really predictable. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. I think this year has the most unpredictability of any Royal Rumble. I honestly do. Because the title doesn't necessarily have to fit around the waist of Roman Reigns. And if it does fit around the waist of Roman Reigns, I think there are a lot of intriguing routes they could go. And if they don't go those routes, and if they're like, you know what, the 2 weeks leading up to Royal Rumble, people were just not feeling Roman. It's not working. They could pull the swerve. They would have the Royal Rumble in their back pocket. So for me, I've seen some people say that the title on the thing is just another way for them to push Roman Reigns down her throat so he can overcome it all. Yeah, that's what it seems like. But if that doesn't happen, that's a huge shocker, and that is mysterious, and that kind of sets you off as like, okay, wow, they did it. And like I said, they could go a lot of different ways. I hope they go very unorthodox ways, and I hope the agents are not the same ones from the last couple years' Royal Rumbles, because in last year's Royal Rumbles, the finishes have sucked. They really have. And I'm a little worried about the match itself. I do like the fact that the title's on the line. Like I said, most of those guys, probably 25 of those guys on the stage, really have no chance. But the possibility of Dean and Roman possibly doing something, that could then get Roman out of the title picture, still be featured with the authority where Dean screwed him. Dean gets the shot at Fastlane. He doesn't get it. Roman comes out at Fastlane, screws over Dean Ambrose. Dean versus Roman for the IC title. And then Brock versus Rock for the main title. Boom. Something like that. I want to know what you guys think, and if you think them having the title on the line is one. I've seen some people on both ends of the spectrum. Do you see this as lazy booking? And this is just them trying to stack the deck against Roman, like the one versus all. Or like last night, it was one versus all, and then Roman overcame everybody. But then Brock came out and destroyed everybody. So it kind of gave you, okay, well, it's looking like, yeah, they're feeding Roman down our throats. But wait a minute, Brock just destroyed him. Huh. They could definitely do something. The Royal Rumble could definitely be intriguing as long as it's done in a way that really does set a Mania. I really hope it does, because I don't want feuds going into this year's Mania. You cannot, with 100,000 fans in attendance, Royal Rumble feuds need to start at the pay-per-view. They need to start going into Mania. You know, in the past couple months, the big story started at Royal Rumble, and then everything else filled out about 4 to 6 weeks before Mania. That can't happen this year. You are filling a 100,000-seat arena. You need to have everything on the line. You need to make, in this Royal Rumble, me go, God damn, I want to see them fight. That's what I want to see. I am going to tune in. That's what I'm hoping for the Royal Rumble. That's what I see when people keep asking me about it. I want the Royal Rumble to have that level of unpredictedness. I want a guy like Brock Lesnar or The Rock or somebody debuting a faction some way, shape, or form. Dean screwing Roman. I want something that shakes up the game. That's what I want. Let me know what you guys want in the comment section below. I'd appreciate it if you guys could follow me on Twitter. I got some pretty cool stuff coming up at Tubby Emu. You can follow me over there. And until next time, it's your boy Tubby Emu. Let me know what you want me to talk about next. And we will see you all later.